Right, so hello everybody, how you all doing? So it's been a little while, and I wanted to cover pretty much this error that has plagued a lot of Linux users that I've seen online, and I personally got around it today when I wanted to make the how you should partition your Linux hard drive video, and I wanted to do it in VirtualBox so you guys can see everything clearly. But this error has dawned upon me. I was like, okay, something's weird. And I'm not the only one who's facing this error. Apparently even some people over here in the community are having the same error, just like me. And it was apparently solved. There are different ways you can solve this. However, I found a better way of solving this, and it's actually really simple. So if you're facing this error saying that you should configure it and that the kernel driver isn't loaded, it's mostly an issue where your user is not in the right user group. So to fix this, you can see I already have some commands prepared over there. So first off, we need to install VirtualBox, obviously. Modules, there we go. So first we install VirtualBox using the first commands. These commands install pretty much all the required packages for VirtualBox and the host modules, which is what we need in order to use it. The reason why I put 56 in front of that is actually really easy to tell why. The Linux 56 pretty much says that you have to change the number according to your Linux kernel version. So for example, if I run uname-a, and I'll need to zoom in on this one so you guys can see everything, you'll notice that I'm running the Linux kernel version 5.6, which means I have to install the kernel modules version 5.6, hence why this command actually exists. So modules, there we go. And this is pretty much how you install it. You use this command to install pretty much every required package. One better way of doing this, however, when it comes to installing and want to make sure that it is in there, is using sy or syuu. This will also do a system update. However, I don't want to do a system update. I just want to update the packages repository to make sure that it works so that we get the latest versions. If we run this and we type in our password, you can see it says everything's up to date and that there are packages ready for us to be installed, which is great. So we're going to accept it and install these packages. Now this might take a little bit of time depending on your internet speed. However, as of now, my internet speed is quite fast, so it works fine for me, or at least in my case. So it will download some packages which will take up a bit of space, and it's going to run a few things, to make sure everything's loaded properly. And after it's done installing everything, there is a few more things we need to do. Next, we need to reload all the kernel modules for VirtualBox. To do so, we run this command right here, and we do it like so. So we do sudo vboxreload, and it should say unloading modules. It will unload them and then it will reload them, basically reloading all the modules that we need to make sure that it works with our system. However, that's not all. We will still get the error even though we do all of this. There's actually one more thing we need to do. On the Manjaro wiki, it said you have to add yourself as a user into the vboxusers group. Well, I wouldn't recommend that you use this, because what it will do instead is it will give your root user into the vboxusers group, therefore not solving the problem. In order to solve this, here's what I'll be using. You will have to change the user parameter here to your actual username. The username can be seen actually down here in your terminal as the first option. If you don't see it, there are actually different ways you can do this. For example, you can list out your home partition, and what you will find in most cases is you'll have a user lost and found folder and the root user in some cases, but in most cases if you're the only user on your computer, this will be you. There's actually a few other things you can do, but it's one of the generalizations that you can use to make sure that it is actually like that. There's actually another thing you can do. You can actually use the user parameter as a regular user here. Let me show you. So this is another way of figuring out what user you are. So here is how you would do it. I wouldn't recommend doing it like this, but like this actually. So type in echo, if I can type it. So this is actually another way with which you can figure out what user you currently are in case you don't have this string in here. You can echo the user variable without being the root user, and it will write out which username you are. This is what you will use in this command instead of the user parameter here. You also might have, so let me show what will happen if we actually run it as sudo. It does the same thing, but in some cases, if you are logged in as sudo, it will say root, which is not what we want. So it may work, but I recommend that you change this to your user. So I'm just going to copy this section. Oh great, I just completely miscopied it. And I'm going to add myself to the group. As you can see, adding user being given to 47 to group vboxusers. With this, we should be able to run VirtualBox just fine. So we're going to open up VirtualBox. I already have a VM set up, but I had to uninstall and reinstall it. So before it will set the error. Now watch what happens if I run this. It's running. And I already had it set up, so we should be able to just install Manjaro. As you can see, it's running perfectly. So if you were facing these issues before, just you know, it takes a little bit of a while to figure everything out, but as you can see, everything works fine. And now we are able to actually use the virtual machine to actually do the installation video, which I planned on doing today. So I just wanted to show you how I can fix actually the error within VirtualBox, saying like, hey, you cannot use this for any reason whatsoever. So I would recommend that you do this, and it will actually make it so it will work actually. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I'm still using my screen recorder script to record all of these videos, and it's working out real fine. File sizes are really small, so it's really fast to upload. So I hope this was helpful for all of you. I'm no longer using my intros in my videos. Well, not no longer, but in some of my videos I do, but that's not the case. So I hope this helped you guys in at least one way or another. So I'm going to go and upload this video now. Make sure to subscribe or to share this video around if someone else is facing the same issues just like you are, or if you know someone who would benefit from this. And on that note, I would like to make sure that you guys are safe, have fun, and I will see you guys in hopefully the next video.